and I'm joining you this morning from Mission Control inside the Atlas Space Flight Operations Center. The launch team isn't currently working any issues with the launch vehicle. We did have an earlier ground winds delay for our T0 time. It delayed our tanking operations a few minutes, so right now we're looking at a 3:38 a.m. Eastern time for T0. A few minutes from now, the count will enter a planned 15-minute hold. There are two planned holds in our nearly 7-hour launch count. The planned holds give our team additional time to resolve any issues prior to entering the terminal count at T-minus 4 minutes. At the request of our customer, today's live coverage will conclude following payload fairing jettison, which is scheduled to take place about 4.5 minutes after liftoff. Clay Flynn, the 45th Space Wing's weather officer, recently provided the final forecast, and weather right now is no-go for launch. The probability of violating launch constraints is 80%. The ground winds right now are 18 knots out of the east. Temperature is 80 degrees Fahrenheit. We will continue on towards a planned T0 time of 3:38 Eastern time. After liftoff, the Atlas V will fly a southeasterly heading away from our launch pads here at Cape Canaveral. Let's take a quick look at what else you can expect to see this morning.
The following profile details the important events of this mission using approximate times.
5, 4, 3, 2. We have RD-180 ignition and we have liftoff of the United Launch Alliance Atlas V rocket.
The Atlas RD-180 main engine and two solid rocket boosters ignite to lift the vehicle away from the pad. Shortly after liftoff, Atlas begins its initial pitch, yaw, and roll maneuvers to attain the proper ascent profile and minimize aerodynamic loads. The Atlas V reaches Mach 1, the speed of sound, at 47 seconds. At 52 seconds, the vehicle experiences maximum dynamic pressure. At 1 minute 31 seconds, the two SRBs burn out, followed by jettison 38 seconds later. Approaching booster engine cutoff, the Atlas V is burning propellant at a rate of 2,028 pounds per second, traveling at approximately 11,588 miles per hour and located 67 miles in altitude and 209 miles downrange. Booster engine cutoff occurs 4 minutes, 10 seconds after liftoff. 6 seconds later, the booster stage is jettisoned. The first Centaur main engine start takes place 10 seconds after booster separation. At 4 minutes 34 seconds, the payload fairing is jettisoned.
So currently the countdown on the bottom left is the technical countdown. This is the countdown that is bound to the technical operations around the rocket.
LC Prop 1.
This countdown will go through a
Go
planned
Prop 1.
hold.
Engine
about 4
FIV
minutes.
is open.
NROL-52 is the 74th Atlas V mission and the 122nd ULA flight. This mission uses the Atlas V 421 configuration. Produced in Decatur, Alabama and Harlingen, Texas, the Atlas V 421 includes a common core booster powered by an RD-180 engine, two Aerojet Rocketdyne solid rocket boosters, and a Centaur second stage powered by an Aerojet Rocketdyne RL-10C1 engine. The satellite is protected during ascent by a 4-meter diameter payload fairing. On September 26th, the NROL-52 payload encapsulated inside the fairing was transported to the VIF and made it to the Centaur. The launch countdown begins with moving the rocket from the VIF to the pad. The quarter-mile trip began using 6 components to complete the 20-minute trip. Weighing in at about 2 million pounds, the Mobile Launch Platforms, or MLP, supports the rocket and contains air conditioning, electrical, and commodities, while the undercarriages bear the weight of the MLP and the rocket. 2 rail cars lead the move with the payload van providing communication to the payload, while the ground van houses the ground support for the rocket. At the rear of the convoy, the portable environmental control system provides air conditioning to the payload and rocket. Finally, track mobiles provide the power to move the 3.5 million pound convoy. The Atlas V rocket stands 195 feet tall, or about 20 stories, and weighs about a million pounds fully fueled. The RD-180 main engine and two solid rocket boosters produce approximately 1.5 million pounds of thrust to lift the rocket off the pad and begin its trip to orbit.
PNE-2 perform Centaur LH2 SVV cycle test.
Roger.
So the bottom left countdown will go through a planned halt, while the top right countdown is the countdown to the actual current planned launch time at 7:38 GMT.
Today's launch is for the National Reconnaissance Office, or NRO. The NRO is a joint organization engaged in the research and development, acquisition, launch, and operation of innovative overhead reconnaissance systems necessary to meet the needs of the intelligence community and the Department of Defense. The NRO is recognized for its transformational intelligence collection systems that are used to develop highly accurate military targeting data, support international peacekeeping and humanitarian relief operations, and to assess the impact of natural disasters. The NRO provided artwork for today's mission, which is visible on the payload fairing. The mission patch features an eagle, which represents the NRO's power and strength, as well as the L-52 payload joining the existing constellation of NRO capabilities. Defensor Libertatis, which translates to Defender of Freedom, symbolizes the NRO's commitment to providing critical capabilities and their commitment to the greater mission.
So as we've heard, the
Roger.
current weather conditions are not very good, and the launch might well be scrubbed again. There is currently an about 20% probability of a successful launch today due to these weather conditions. However, it has been scrubbed for weather conditions a few times.
As I mentioned earlier, today's Atlas V will lift off from Space Launch Complex 41, or SLC 41. NROL-52 is the 60th Atlas V mission to begin its trip to orbit from this launch pad. We're looking at aerial footage captured by a drone. As we fly around the pad, you'll see tanks storing the commodities we use to fuel the Atlas V, catenary towers to protect the rocket from lightning strikes, and you may also notice the Crew Access Tower, or CAT, just next to the rocket. The CAT will provide access to the Starliner capsule for astronauts launching to the International Space Station atop an Atlas V.
However, a scrub would not mean that nothing happens today, and in fact I hope that it doesn't get delayed too much, because actually about 1 hour later the launch of a Soyuz with a Progress ISS resupply ship is currently scheduled at around 8:40 GMT. This launch I will also cover, and that is also a postponed launch. So the Progress launch was actually also scheduled 2 days ago and then scrubbed, which is relatively rare for a Progress or a Soyuz vehicle to today. So right after this rocket launch there will be another rocket launch just an hour later, if this one launches today at all. The Progress
T-minus 8 minutes.
Switch all secondary decoms to RF link and verify lock.
Roger.
Initiate orbital parameter calculations on backup CGLS.
Roger. All secondary decoms verified on RF link.
Roger.
T-minus 5 minutes.
Start radar data acquisition.
Roger.
Ladies and gentlemen, today's launch is in memory of Lloyd Frank Sharfstein for his dedication to spaceflight and his support to many NROL missions. This morning's flight is also dedicated in memory of Terry Scott Duncan, who recently lost his courageous battle with cancer. Terry leaves behind an extraordinary legacy of accomplishment at the NRO. Frank and Terry will be forever memorialized with the liftoff of NROL-52.
Atlas LO2 at flight level.
Roger.
Centaur LO2 at flight level.
Roger.
Centaur LH2 at flight level.
Roger.
T-minus 4 minutes in holding. This is a programmed 4-minute hold. 6-minute hold.
Terminal count briefing. If the condition exceeds the launch constraint, anytime after the terminal count status check, the observer shall announce hold, hold, hold on channel 1, identify their station, and briefly state the reason for the hold. Flight control, perform launch on time verification.
Roger.
OSM, place SRB ignition SNA switch in the enabled position.
SRB enabled.
Verify the FCO, RCO, and OSM hold fire switches are in the proceed position.
Ready to proceed.
Verify redline monitor and event table are in the correct configuration for terminal count.
Verified.
Verify solar radiation acceptable for launch.
Verified. Launch on time verified. Roger.
We remain in the planned 15-minute built-in hold as preparations for the launch continue. In a few moments, Launch Conductor Dylan Rice will poll the launch team for final go to pick up the countdown. 29 engineers and managers are polled for system status and readiness to proceed with the launch. This is the final status check for all Atlas vehicle systems, ground systems, the spacecraft, and the U.S. Air Force Eastern Range. The readiness poll includes hydraulics, pad water deluge system, electrical systems, pneumatics, propulsion systems, flight controls, and propellants. Let's listen in as Launch Conductor Dylan Rice performs the final polling of the team.
Status check to proceed with terminal count, Atlas Systems, propulsion.
Go.
Hydraulics.
Go.
Pneumatics.
Go.
LO2.
Go.
Water.
Go.
Centaur Systems, propulsion.
Go.
Pneumatics.
Go.
LO2.
Go.
LH2.
Go.
HASGAS.
Go.
Electrical Systems, airborne.
Go.
Ground.
Go.
Facility.
Go.
RFFTS.
Go.
Flight control.
Go.
TCQ.
Go.
COM.
Go.
Timer.
Go.
Umbilicals.
Go.
ECS.
Go.
Redline monitor.
Go.
Quality.
Go.
Ops safety manager.
Go.
ULA safety officer.
Go.
Vehicle system engineer.
Go.
Anomaly chief.
ACS go.
Range coordinator.
Not ready due to weather.
Launch director.
Launch director's ready. Launch vehicle is ready.
Mission director.
You have permission to launch pending clearance of the weather constraint.
Roger. Proceeding with the count. Timer set count to start at 0734 Zulu for a planned T0 of 0738 Zulu.
Count will start at 0734 Zulu for plan T0 of 0738 Zulu.
TD, verify spacecraft is configured for launch.
Spacecraft is configured for launch.
Start lift
Okay,
stated
this
captain.
is LD on channel 1.
Roger.
Do not pick up the count.
Roger. Timer, do not release the hold.
Roger.
And for the team on one, at this point, we are getting a weather update. Please stand by in this position, and we will wait for an opening in the weather. LC switch not ready.
Polling is complete, and the launch team has given the go for launch pending clearance of a few weather constraints. It looks like we have a new T0 of 3:43 a.m. Eastern. This is Atlas Mission Control. We have a new adjusted T0 time of 3:48 a.m. Eastern Time, pending clearance of some weather constraints.
LC, this is LD in Channel 1.
Go, LD.
Okay, I just want to make sure you understand the plan. We have asked for updates from the LWO every 5 minutes. Based on that, if it starts clearing, then we will assume a 9-minute time frame in order to coordinate a new T0 and do our status check and make sure we're good to go, pick up the count. If it doesn't clear, obviously, we won't, but we may end up setting up, if we get that far down, we may end up setting up for the end of the window. So I will let you know when that decision's made.
Roger, LC copies, and the team is standing by at a no-9-minute posture awaiting a potential opportunity.
Copy that. Thank you.
This is Atlas Mission Control. We have a new adjusted T0 time of 3:53 a.m. Eastern.
Now the new launch time is in about 8 minutes. Now it might be scrapped again, postponed again. There is another rocket launch also coming up, a Russian Soyuz launching a Progress resupply craft to the International Space Station. And that's actually in about an hour, and I will have to switch over to that other live stream in about half an hour, so if this keeps getting postponed, it might actually be the first time in my experience that two rocket launches would be so close together or overcut each other so that I can only live stream one of them because they're basically at the same time.
LCRC Net 1.
Go, RC.
In case you didn't copy it, LWO is forecasting 35 knot gusts in about 18 minutes.
Roger, LC copy. LD, LC Net 1. Launch Director, LC1.
This is LD. Go ahead.
Okay, with that forecast, LC recommends going into high ground.
And I concur. TE concurs as well.
Roger that. Okay,
With,
team, we're...
I'm sorry. With this, we're done for the night. Is that correct?
Yeah, we're currently in a no-go condition. Stand by. Let's get that process kicked off, and then we can talk more about
Okay.
window
Thank
management. So all personnel proceeded to Operation 180, high ground winds during cryogenic operations, page 298, SYSLC.
Right.
Established CPC terminated.
Roger.
SYS, configure and verify CPC constants to support SSVAT's takeover for high ground winds.
Roger.
Blocks 2LC.
Go ahead.
Be advised a stop flow drain condition will soon be initiated.
Roger.
Fuel 2, be advised a stop flow drain condition will soon be initiated.
Roger.
SYS, verify that the CPC script is successfully completed.
Stand by. LCS West.
Go.
Verify CPC script is successfully terminated.
Roger. PNE 2, adjust tank pressures to high ground wind levels.
Roger. High ground wind pressurization is active.
Roger.
Step 60, Centaur tank pressures are at high ground wind pressures.
Roger. Fuel 2 LC. Fuel 2 LC1. Go ahead. Perform Centaur LH2 detanking to below 97%.
Roger.
Blocks 2 LC. Go ahead. Perform Centaur LOX detanking to below 95%. Roger.
LC fuel 2,
Go fuel 2.
below 97% and in stop flow drain.
Roger.
LD, this is the MD on channel 1.
LD?
LD, we are scrubbing the launch attempt for today. Proceed with preparations for an attempt in 24 hours.
Wilco. LC, this is the LD. Initiate a 24-hour recycle once we are able to perform that operation.
Roger.
So that officially stops the launch.
This is Atlas Mission Control. It has been confirmed that we will not continue with Atlas 5 NROL-52 launch activities this morning. We have a 24-hour recycle, so our next launch attempt will be tomorrow at 3:28 a.m. Eastern Time. For the most up-to-date information, please visit ulalaunch.com, follow us at ULA Launch, or call 1-877-ULA-4321. This concludes today's broadcast. I'm Anton Kolomitz. Thank you for joining us.
So this officially scrubs today's Atlas V launch, as we've had a 24-hour scrub, so see you again tomorrow. However, in about 40 minutes, a Soyuz rocket will launch a Progress ISS resupply ship, and I will now stop this stream to start another stream in a few minutes, so you can just stay here and it should switch over to the Progress launch stream in a few minutes. So see you in a few minutes.